What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and to another news update for Star Wars Battlefront 2. The Battle of Scarif update, which has been postponed since the end of March, is being released tomorrow, April 29th, and we just got the community transmission containing the release notes for the update, and we're going to go over that in today's video. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already for more Battlefront 2 videos like this, but with that, let's jump into the news. So, as the name would imply, Scarif is being introduced to Battlefront 2 as a new playable location in this update. Scarif will be available in Supremacy, Co-op, and the Instant Action modes. This means the Age of Rebellion will be playable in Supremacy and Instant Action, completing the 3 era-specific playlists and giving us the option for all 3. Since Co-op already had the Age of Rebellion from the last game update, Supremacy and Instant Action will be getting 4 other new maps alongside Scarif, those being Tatooine, Yavin 4, Hoth, and Death Star 2. Scarif will of course also be coming to Age of Rebellion Co-op. Age of Resistance Co-op is also getting 2 new maps, the MC-85 Star Cruiser and the Resurgent Class Star Destroyer, which have been fan favorites since they were introduced. With the Age of Rebellion coming to offline play in Instant Action, we're also getting a new way to play offline through the Instant Action game mode, called Instant Action Missions. For all intents and purposes, this is basically offline co-op. You get to squad up with a team of 3 AI bots and take on an entire team of AI while capturing and defending command posts in attack and defense scenarios. It follows the exact same outline as multiplayer co-op, just offline instead, giving our offline community some more options to play the game. Heroes vs. Villains is also getting a new map added to the rotation, Planet Crate. This has been a highly requested map for the HVV game mode, since Crate has been in the game basically since launch, but it's just now being added to the mode, so this is nice. The Heroes vs. Villains map will be the second phase part of the Galactic Assault map, inside the hangar with the blast doors open where you can see the sunlight coming in. This Crate map will also be available to play in Hero Showdown as well. It appears that maps were a heavy focus for this update, but skins and appearances also got some love too, and a lot of players will be happy about this one. Our infantry units and some of our heroes are getting new skins. Starting with our heroes, Darth Maul is finally getting his first customization option, called Old Master, which is inspired by his look from the Rebels TV series. This appearance features his robotic legs and the sleeveless tunic that he wore in the show. Emperor Palpatine is also getting his first cosmetic appearance, called the Sith Eternal, inspired by Episode 9. These are the black and red robes that he wore at the end of the movie when fighting Rey and Ben. Speaking of those two, they are also getting new skins. Rey is getting her appearance from Episode 9 with the golden lightsaber called Rey Skywalker, and Kylo Ren is getting a hooded appearance for his Supreme Leader skin with the cracked mask. The skin for Rey and Darth Maul specifically will be unlockable through milestones. 4 new hero skins is great, but we're also getting some for our infantry units too. The Empire is getting the Shore Trooper appearance in honor of Scarif dropping, and the Rebels get the Pathfinder appearance, which is the look that they had in Rogue One during the Battle of Scarif. The Empire is also getting options for the planet-specific appearances that they have in the Age of Rebellion maps. For example, on Hoth we have Snow Troopers, but that Snow Trooper appearance will now be available as a selectable option on any map that you can play as the Empire. Snow Troopers on Tatooine? Why not? The First Order Snow Trooper is also going to be available as a cosmetic for the First Order, and the Rebel and Resistance Specialist is also getting a brand new female Zabrak variant. New skins and appearances are always great content, so this is perfect. This update also introduces some great quality of life improvements, one of which is a damage increase messaging system. A couple updates back, a damage decrease messaging system was implemented, letting you know when you would take reduced damage or when you would inflict reduced damage on your target. In the exact same way, this new messaging system will let you know when you cause bonus damage to your target and when you take bonus damage yourself. Currently, in Battlefront 2 there are only 2 things that will make you take increased damage, that being BB-8's Resistance Backing ability and Count Dooku's Expose Weakness ability. If you're under the effects of either one of these, you will take bonus damage from all sources, and with this new messaging system, it will let you know exactly when that happens. Same for when you cause bonus damage. Another quality of life improvement they've added is the removal of explosion damage reduction. Before this update, if you were within the radius of a Heavy's Sentry ability, or if you were using the Bodyguard Star card, you would take reduced damage from all explosions. That effect has now been removed from both, Sentry no longer grants reduced explosive damage, and Bodyguard has a brand new effect altogether. The star card will now grant general damage reduction after your health drops below 30%. This gives you just a little bit more survivability on the battlefront and should see Bodyguard get more use, since according to the devs, it's a very rarely used card on any of the 4 classes. Maybe now it'll get some more use. Turning our attention back to Supremacy, Co-op, and Instant Action, some new heroes are joining the roster for those modes. Since Darth Maul now has a Rebels-inspired skin, he will be joining the Age of Rebellion along with Yoda as playable heroes on the Empire and Rebellion side, and since Emperor Palpatine gets a Rise of Skywalker-inspired skin, he will be joining the First Order while Chewbacca joins the Resistance. This brings the total hero count for the Age of Resistance up to 4 on each side, and for the Age of Rebellion that brings it up to 5 on each side. Co-op and instant action missions are also getting added vehicle units as AI players on certain maps. Geonosis, Kashyyyk, Naboo, Felucia, Hoth, Endor, Yavin 4, Takodana, and Agent Kloss will all have AI vehicle units as players running around the map. We also have a bunch of new customization options for our heads-up display. A couple updates back, we got the option to turn on and off certain elements of our HUD, and this update introduces even more options to do just that and customize the game to make it look the way you want it. Another great quality of life improvement that's been much needed for a very long time is camera orientation for the dash abilities for certain heroes and reinforcements. Before this update, when you would activate a dash ability on a hero, such as Rey's Dash Strike or Han Solo's Shoulder Charge, the character model would go the direction they were facing instead of the direction of the camera. This would lead to a lot of abilities going the direction you did not want them to go, because you were facing your camera in the right direction, but the character model was looking the wrong way, and that's the way they went. After this update, the character will now go the direction the camera is facing, which is huge for fast-paced gameplay when you have a high sensitivity and you're making quick turns. The heroes and abilities this applies to are Rey and her Dash Strike, Obi-Wan's Defensive Rush, Han Solo's Shoulder Charge, BB-8's Rolling Charge, General Grievous's Claw Rush, the First Order Jet Trooper's Jet Tackle, and the Ovisian Gunner's Charge Attack. Heroes and villains got some tweaks in this update. BB-8 and BB-9E had milestones that were not tracking, and BB-9E's charge-up ability would not lead to a reduction of cooldown times on his friendlies, which has now been fixed. Leia had an issue where her thermal detonators would go into a cooldown prematurely before all of them were thrown, and that's been fixed, along with a fix to her shield which would sometimes not heal her and her teammates when it should have. Chewbacca could do a melee attack in midair after activating Charge Slam, and that's been fixed, along with an issue where Chewbacca would cancel the Charge Slam if he fell from a small height, which it should no longer do. Boba Fett had an issue fixed where he could disable the blaster weapon of targets that were not concussed when shooting behind them. Rey had a small problem where her mouth would not move during her emotes or voice lines. Captain Phasma has had the animation of her staff strikes improved. Obi-Wan has improved audio effects for Restrictive Mind Trick. Lando Calrissian had an issue fixed where his weapon would still build up heat even during the Super Success minigame, and that's been fixed, which is good. Bossk has improved VFX to better show the range of his proximity mines on various terrains. Kylo Ren had a huge problem fixed where after he would freeze a target and they would try to roll out of it, it would invert the direction of their roll, and it should no longer do that. When you roll out of Kylo Ren's freeze, you should go the direction you're trying to go. They also fixed a clipping issue on his Power of Darkness victory pose. General Grievous had an issue fixed that would cause his abilities to be interrupted by other abilities and melee attacks of other players, and he also had that big problem fixed where Unrelenting Advance would trigger twice, but the second animation would do nothing. He would just be stuck in Unrelenting Advance and you would die. So that's huge for General Grievous, and great changes all around for the heroes. Next up, we have some updates to some of our reinforcement units. First, the ARC Trooper got a great buff to his toggled fire mode rate from 360 to 420, making him fire a lot faster. He also does increased damage per shot, and the recoil setting that would make the aim kick left and right has now been decreased. The B-2 rocket droid has had its base health dropped from 300 to 200, since they were the one aerial that had the most health out of all of them. They've also reduced the end damage on its wrist blaster, as well as for the B-2 Super Battle Droid too. They've also reduced the Commando Droid's E5's near damage. The logic here is that the Vibro Sword should be the main weapon for close range, so they've nerfed the gun at close range. The Imperial Death Trooper got a damage nerf, while the Rebel and Imperial Rocket Troopers got damage buffs. The Wookiee Warrior got a slight damage buff, while the Ewok Hunter got a buff to its Wisties pouch damage, from 5 per second to 10 per second. The Ovisian Gunner also got a buff to its near damage. A really interesting change comes to the Flame Trooper, who now has an added alternative fire to give it a mid-range attack to make it more viable in most combat situations and on more maps. Right now the Flame Trooper is a very close range unit, but this mid-range attack should give it more use. And the last thing to go over in this update video are some buffs to some of the newer weapons. The DL-18 now has reduced heat per shot, and the Cycler Rifle's damage has been increased to 75, making it a 2-shot weapon against most infantry. And with that, those are the release notes and the community transmission for the Battle on Scarif update coming to Battlefront 2 tomorrow, April 29th. There are more patch notes than just what I went over in the video, and I will have the link to the complete list of notes in the description. I just wanted to go over the main points with you all in this video. But that's going to do it from me. Be sure to comment below and let me know what you're most excited for out of the Battle of Scarif update. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new and looking for more Battlefront 2 videos like this. I appreciate you all stopping by the bazaar, and I'll see you out on the battlefront. Peace.